let's agree on one thing. We are all here because we want to save Tanjung Aru. Yes?
Yes.
I'm here to save Tanjung Aru too. Point number one. So this is an aerial photo of Tanjung Aru in 2012. Why do we need to do what we plan to do? It's very simple. The physical conditions of the area is very, very poor. It's polluted. There's continuous erosions. Pollution of the quality of the beach is deteriorating. Adverse condition of Tanjung Aru land, proximity to the airport is not good for development, ideal. And when nightfall, it is unsafe. How many of you ventured into Tanjung Aru after 9?
In the morning?
After 9
Morning or evening?
p.m. I don't see a single hand. Do I see a hand? One?
You want me-
Oh, when I ask, don't see a single hand, suddenly all the hands go.
You want an answer for that?
No, it's okay, it's okay. I just asked for a show of hands. Okay? And obviously there are lack of funds to make it possible for these things to be rectified. It is envisaged in 20 years, wave action will erode it more. As you can see from these photos, this was the first protection wall, and this is the secondary coastal protection walls, and even the secondary protection walls have also failed. This is a picture of Tanjung Aru beach. The original walls has collapsed. Second wall, erected further inland, also has failed. Pollution. You know this to be true. Erosion coming from the waves, untreated, polluted water from the drains, from the water villages, and from Patagas River. These are sand samples that we took. Number one, this is from this point. Number two, and you can see, literally see the different color of the sand from the different beaches. This was taken in the 4th of June this year. This slide I find extremely disturbing. 2 years ago, I let my son swim on this beach. This is the World Health Organization bathing water standards. Low risk of illness transmission is 41 to 200 CFU per 100 milliliters. That's the green one, where it's considered safe. The blue one is 201 to 500 CFU. That's the blue one. Still maybe okay. The yellow one, above 500 CFU, high risk of illness transmission. The fecal count, basically poo. You can literally see it here. 507, 1076, 754, 1476, and 1485. These are undisputed facts. You can literally see the discharge points. And unfortunately, you can still see swimmers swimming right next to the discharge points. Now, this is, I believe it was called Borneo Motel. I think this building has been on the market. They've been trying to sell this for more than 20 years. They can't sell it because the main thing is because it's next to a runway, the plot ratio does not make it worthwhile for a property developer to buy this. Now, this is a very important slide, and I'd like you to pay attention to this. I've read a lot of comments, I've read a lot of reports, and people say that, oh, the government, this is the land, they should keep this and that and the other. Actually, the government doesn't own all the land. This is SESB quarters, Windbell restaurant, this is also the quarters, the Borneo Motel I mentioned, and the Tanjung Aru school. The government has to spend 100 million to purchase these various plots of land. No property developer wants to buy it for the simple fact that you cannot increase plot ratio and you cannot build up because it's next to a runway. Okay? This is very important. I do not know whether you remember this case. Previously, this land was sold to a private developer. And they sat on it because they could not develop the land. The land virtually had zero value because they couldn't develop it, because they couldn't factor in plot ratios, they couldn't develop it, and so much so that the government had to eventually take legal action to recover the land, because in the SMP they were required to develop it within a certain time frame. So now the government has won the suit to take back the lands, and they have to purchase this particular plots that they don't own. Total area is 114.28 acres, which the government had to recover back in this legal suit. Foreshore reserve is basically the land that is demarcated up to the sea. Essentially, the beach, if you want to put it simply. This is the demarcated foreshore reserve. The original foreshore reserve is 85 acres. However, due to KKIA's expansion, it has taken away 42.87 acres. Traffic Garden took away 7 over acres, and Prince Philip Park took away 11.43 acres. Today, you only have 23.68 acres left of the original foreshore reserve. What will happen to the foreshore reserve after TAED is developed? The foreshore reserve is 50 meters, but it will increase the public area up to there, and Prince Philip Park will have its own dedicated piece of land. And these areas will be a promenade, a green area, cycling track, and an electric bus route. So this is your current beach, 1,400 meters. At high tide, the width of the beach is 9 meters. At low tide, 25 meters. The new width will be between 50 to 110 meters, a length of 1,420 meters. At high tide, it will be 50 meters, and at low tide, 110 meters. So you basically get a bigger beach, and on top of that, you have an additional 1,060 meters for a promenade. So this is just a comparison. Your present Prince Philip Park, which is 11.43 acres on the foreshore reserve. The new Prince Philip Park will have a dedicated 27 acres. So You have a new foreshore reserve, 50 meters, Prince Philip Park on its own, dedicated land outside of the foreshore reserve. So basically, we're giving you a bigger park. And we hope that it will look like this. And the new Tanjung Aru Beach, cars will be restricted. You won't be able to drive up to the beach like you can right now. We have designated car parks. You will have free buggy service for all seniors and physically challenged. And you have a continuous running of a free electric bus for the general public as well. Just a point there on that previous slide, just a point of note. I know there were some initial question marks about whether there will be an entrance fee into the beach and the park. Zero. No cost to the public. Okay. Let's make that very clear. It's free access. There's been also questions on why the design is the way it is. This is partly due to the environmental impact reports, studies rather, and also it's a design to hopefully make the beach clean itself with minimal help. So it's done here, the design in such a way is to prevent pollution from the nearby islands and water villages, and that part jutting out there is to prevent pollution from the nearby Patagas River. So that, yeah, you can see from here, maximize the protection to the beach, and this is all done to a strict EIA studies and requirements. There has also been questions asked on why you need the channel. Very simply put, this project costs a lot of money. As a citizen of Malaysia, if this was right in front of me and the government wanted to collect more tax from me for this, I wouldn't want that too. So the government has to find ways to fund this, and one of the ways to fund this is, as we will explain a little bit further on, but essentially this water channel is to help you maximize the value of the land. You will have something called the Fisherman's Wharf, essentially a retail area. You will have a marina. The aforementioned channels. Why a golf course at the edge of the runway? Very simple. You can't build buildings there. You're not allowed to. It's too dangerous. But golfers don't mind a plane flying over their heads. The road infrastructure. There will be a green buffer zone to minimize airport noise pollution. Very important, the building lots for sale by tender is only 32% of the entire area. Only 32%. This is what it will look like. Approximately 314 hectares. And one very significant point, a project of this scale will obviously create employment for the city and its rural population. Everything is a huge domino effect. You obviously face competition from various Southeast Asian resorts, Cebu, Bali, Phuket, Sanya. Actually, I disagree with point number one. We are not bringing it back to what it used to be. We are actually going to make it better. Let me tell you this. I first visited Sabah 5 years ago, okay, and I was brought to Tanjung Aru, and my first impression was, what a beautiful sunset, but what a horrible beach. Sorry, I'm going to say that right in front of you. It's ugly. The beach is disgusting, okay? And I always said, why can't it compete with places like Bali and Phuket? And when the state government came up with this idea and they wanted to start this project, I actually chased the state government to say, I want to be involved in this project because I think it's about time something be done to such a beautiful piece of land. So that's my take. Thank you.